Ever wondered how to create the perfect macaroni and cheese? Well, you're in the right place because today we're going to unravel the secrets of this quintessential comfort food. Macaroni and cheese, or mac and cheese as it's fondly called, has a rich and savory history. Originating from Italy, it crossed oceans and continents, melting hearts along the way and eventually becoming a beloved staple in American kitchens. Its warm, creamy goodness offers a taste of nostalgia, transporting many of us back to our childhood. Now, what makes a good macaroni and cheese recipe? It's all about balance. The pasta should be cooked to perfection, neither too hard nor too mushy. The cheese blend should be carefully chosen to get that perfect mix of flavor and creaminess. And let's not forget the importance of a beautifully baked golden brown crust. Get ready because we're about to embark on a delicious journey. Let's start by introducing our star cast of ingredients. First, the macaroni. Elbow pasta is the traditional choice, but feel free to get creative. Next, the cheese. A mix of sharp cheddar and mild Monterey Jack creates a harmonious blend of flavors. But again, the cheese world is your oyster. For our sauce base, we'll need some unsalted butter and all-purpose flour. We'll also add a touch of whole milk for that extra creaminess. Spicing it up, we'll use some ground mustard and a dash of cayenne pepper. Don't worry, it won't make it spicy, but it will add a subtle kick that elevates the flavor. Lastly, for that irresistible golden crust, we'll need some breadcrumbs. As we gather these ingredients, let's remember that the magic of mac and cheese lies in its simplicity. It's a humble dish, but when done right, it can be a gastronomic revelation. Now, with our ingredients ready, it's time to start cooking. So tie on your aprons, roll up your sleeves, and let's get started on this flavorful adventure. First things first, we need to cook our pasta to perfection. Now, the secret to a truly great pasta dish begins with how you cook your pasta. It's not just about boiling water, folks. First, we're going to bring our water to a bubbly, boiling rage. Then, we're going to add a generous pinch of salt. That's right, salt in the water, not on the pasta. This gives our pasta some flavor from the inside out. Now, once our water is salted and boiling, in goes our pasta. We're aiming for that beautiful al dente texture. That's Italian for to the tooth. It means our pasta should be firm when bitten, not mushy. Keep an eye on your pasta, folks, because overcooked pasta is a culinary sin we don't want to commit. Stir occasionally to prevent sticking, and when it's perfectly al dente, drain and set it aside. There you go, our pasta is ready and waiting for its cheesy transformation. Now, let's move on to the star of the show, the cheese sauce. Well, aren't we moving on to the best part? The cheese sauce is what makes macaroni and cheese so mouth-watering and irresistible. Let's start by getting our ingredients together. Butter, flour, milk, and of course the cheese. First things first, we're going to melt the butter. Take a good-sized saucepan and melt the butter over medium heat. You'll want to melt it until it's nice and bubbly, but be careful not to let it brown. Once the butter is all melted and frothy, we're going to whisk in the flour. This is what's going to thicken our sauce and give it that rich, creamy texture we're after. Stir it in well, making sure you get rid of any lumps. Next up is the milk. Now, this is crucial, folks. You can't just dump all the milk in at once. You have to add it slowly, bit by bit, whisking constantly. This will ensure our sauce is smooth and not grainy. Now, we're finally at the moment we've all been waiting for, the cheese. The golden rule here is to add the cheese slowly and stir constantly. This is the secret to a smooth and creamy cheese sauce. You'll want to keep stirring until all the cheese is melted and your sauce is thick and velvety. Remember, patience is key here. Rushing will result in a lumpy sauce, and we don't want that. Keep stirring, keep the heat at a medium level, and you'll end up with a cheese sauce that's out of this world. And there we have it, folks. A cheese sauce that's creamy, rich, and just begging to be poured over our perfectly cooked pasta. Voila! We have made a cheesy masterpiece. Now it's time for the final step. Now it's time to marry our pasta with its cheesy partner. Picture this: the pasta as the blushing bride, the cheese sauce as the dashing groom, and our cooking utensil as the officiant. The wedding ceremony here is no less than a grand affair, with the pasta and cheese sauce coming together in perfect harmony. Here's how the ceremony unfolds. You'll gently pour the cheese sauce over the cooked pasta. Make sure you're generous, as the pasta needs to be completely enveloped by the sauce. Next comes the stirring. This is crucial, my friends. We're not just stirring, We're making sure every single piece of pasta gets a good, thick coating of that luxurious creamy cheese sauce. It's like gifting each piece of pasta its own little cheese jacket. Remember, thorough mixing is key. It's the secret to the perfect macaroni and cheese. Our dish is almost ready, but we have one last step before we can enjoy it. Finally, we're ready to bake our dish to golden perfection. The magic of this dish lies in the transformation that occurs in the oven. It's where the flavors meld together. The top layer of cheese turns into a crispy crust, and the sauce thickens to create a creamy, dreamy macaroni and cheese. Start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While your oven is getting up to temperature, let's get that macaroni and cheese ready for baking. You'll need a baking dish. Any dish will do, but a deeper one will give you more of that creamy, cheesy interior we all love. Transfer your macaroni and cheese into the baking dish. Don't be shy now. Scrape every last bit of that cheesy goodness into the dish. Level it out evenly with your spoon or spatula. This ensures that every bite is just as good as the last. Now for the pièce de résistance, the cheese topping. Sprinkle a generous layer of your chosen cheese over the top of the macaroni. This will create that irresistible golden, bubbly crust. A mixture of sharp cheddar and Parmesan usually does the trick, but feel free to experiment with your favorite types of cheese. Slide your dish into the preheated oven. The waiting game begins now. Patience is key here. We're aiming for a bake time of around 20 to 25 minutes, but keep a close eye on it. You're looking for a golden, bubbly top and a sauce that's thickened up nicely. Be vigilant though, as we don't want to cross the line into burnt territory. As tempting as it may be to dive in straight away, let your macaroni and cheese rest for a good 5 minutes after removing it from the oven. This allows the sauce to further thicken and the flavors to fully develop. And there you have it, the perfect macaroni and cheese, ready to be enjoyed. This dish is a testament to the beauty of simple ingredients, transformed through careful preparation and patient baking. It's comfort food at its finest, and a dish that never fails to bring a smile to the table. There you have it, folks, a simple yet delicious macaroni and cheese recipe. We embarked on a delightful culinary journey together, starting with the perfect pasta. Remember, it's all about achieving that al dente texture, cooked just right so it's neither too hard nor too soft. We then moved on to the heart of the dish, the cheese sauce. That creamy, velvety, indulgent sauce that elevates the humble pasta to a dish fit for a king. We talked about using a mix of sharp cheddar and a milder cheese for a depth of flavor, and how the secret ingredient, a hint of mustard, adds just the right kick. Then came the magical moment of combining the pasta and sauce, turning two separate elements into a harmonious, delicious whole. We saw how the pasta gets beautifully coated with the cheese sauce, each piece becoming a carrier of that creamy goodness. And who can forget the final, crucial step, baking? We transformed our stovetop creation into a golden, bubbling masterpiece in the oven, rounding out the flavors and textures to perfection. This recipe is a classic, but don't let that stop you from adding your own spin. Maybe you'll sprinkle in some crispy bacon bits or stir in some caramelized onions for a sweet contrast. Perhaps a dash of hot sauce for some heat or some sautéed mushrooms for an earthy depth. The beauty of cooking is in the creativity, the personalization. So, I encourage you to try this recipe at home and make it your own. Don't forget, cooking is all about having fun in the kitchen, enjoying the process, and savoring the results. So put on that apron, roll up those sleeves, and let's make some magic in the kitchen. Remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to our channel for more delicious recipes. Happy cooking!